Hey, Brian from Garage Hall. Today I have the Nexgrill 2-burner flat top griddle, and I've been very interested in getting this because it's a smaller griddle. It's not one of the larger ones, but I think it will fit perfect on my deck, and it will get me into the whole griddle scene. So this is something that we can start off with, expand from, and we go from there. Anyway, let's open it up, see what we get. But let me give you a quick tour of the box. And it is not super heavy. However, moving it around, I'd probably either have like some sort of dolly or a second person just to make it easier to get it up on your deck. I happen to be assembling in my garage, just basically because I have it more set up as a studio. And then we will actually show you how to season it and to actually cook on it. And I'll cook a couple of things. I think I got breakfast in mind, but probably cheesesteaks later on, just to kind of give you an idea. We'll cook a couple things on today, just so you can see the versatility of this. Also, I like wearing gloves, so be safe out there. It's metal. It's going to get dirty, manufacturing process. Plus, I want to make sure that I keep my hands clean because I am cooking later. So let's get into this. So it traveled pretty well considering the size of the box. So that's always a good thing to make note when something gets shipped, is the condition of everything. So let's open this up, and I'll give you kind of a bird's eye view of what you get in there. So let's take all the pieces out. Just lay them on the side there. Got some styrofoam. It looks like that is a cover. Also, that was one of the main reasons why I got this grill, is because it had a lid, had a cover with it. All right, so the rest looks like that's some wheel, some bottom parts. Set that up over here. And I like making assembly videos just for the pure fact, so you have an idea of what you're getting into. And let's get some of the stuff over here. So here, I finally found the directions. Let me get that right side up. In the owner's manual. Looks like this is the bottom piece. Alright, let's get that out. That's your propane hose in the back. Now it's amazing how much styrofoam that they actually put in these boxes. I know I've done an unboxing and I've had to put stuff back together, and it seems like there's more styrofoam than it actually went together. So let's get everything done. And this looks like that is the grill top, and that is definitely heavy. Put that down there. We got some miscellaneous pieces kind of hanging out in here. That's your propane tank ring. There's another, I don't know what this is. That's a solid piece of stone, it looks like. So we'll figure that out. We've got a couple packs of screws that are hovering around in here. Some more hidden rails, some more screws. Okay, looks like that is done. We'll put that behind me. And let's get all the parts spread out. Taking out the plastic. this is, oh my goodness, that is heavy. So that is your cooking surface, just to kind of give you an idea. So, I mean, it's a decent size. You know, it's enamel. So we'll put that off there. This is our main part, our burner. And then that looks like that is going to be our grease catch tray. Put that there. All right, and then some of these smaller plastic pieces. So you got some washers there. You got some lock nuts, some smaller screws, and I don't see anything labeled, but we'll just lay these all out. It's easier to find everything. There's another pack of smaller screws. Washers, and some everything else. So let's go through and we'll get this going. So these are the assembly instructions. So I'll bring that closer for you. So that is your assembly instructions, just to kind of give you an idea. So there are a couple parts to it. And then that's the final one. Okay. So package list. So let's kind of go through that, make sure we have everything. Got a bunch of different uprights, a bunch of different pieces here. And I'm going to spread them out on the floor beside me. And as I go through them, I'll show them to everybody. Another piece, just to make sure, get it out of plastic so everything is easy to identify. And that's the lid. We'll just put that off to the side. And then you have these uprights. It looks like these are numbered 1, 2. There's another 2. Number 1. Okay, so it looks like we got everything. So it kind of identifies the different screws. So A19. Okay, so it looks like it's looking for this piece right here. So we have assembly instructions. So it looks like we are going to be putting these 4 corners together. So it looks like kind of like on the edge. So you want this, the edges there, and you want them pointing on the inside, like such. And then it's calling for B1 and 8. So that is your 16. Let me just get some of these screws out here on the table. Looks like the A. These are the smaller ones. And the pack does have a B and an A on it, so it makes it a little bit easier to identify. We'll just keep all those there. And these are the B's. Keep them in the envelope. We'll put them down. there. So put this one corner back here. So we're screwing those in pretty easy. Okay, so after we have these corner brackets in, we are going to put the legs on, and the legs are number 1, 1, 2, 2. So you want to make sure that you have each corner covered with these legs. So basically 1, 1, they have these little squares at the bottom, if you can kind of see that, and that is for the axle for the wheels to mount that. So we want to make sure that we get those both on the same side, and obviously they go at the bottom, and you have 2 screws on either side here that will mount to the bracket on top. So we can loosen them up a little bit. And you can use a regular screwdriver for this. I just like using some power tools to make this process a little bit easier. Alright, so this is going to be the side that we put the legs on. So we'll just move this section of the grill out of the way a little bit. And then just loosen these screws and they'll slide in and then basically down. And then you can kind of like tighten them into place. These out a little bit more. And then it has 2 screw holes underneath at the bottom, so that will provide additional leg stability. And that is going to be the larger A screws. So again, let's turn this on its side. We'll get that one kind of situated a little bit. Good. And then we have one kind of hidden up in the hole there. So that's good. We'll finish it off with a regular screwdriver just to torque it out properly. So that was your support 1. So we're going to put the other support 1 on the other side. So you can kind of see that. And same thing, we will take these little screws out to slide it in a little bit better. Again, this piece mounts down, and then you slide that up so the screws slide into their respective spots. Here in a second. And then we'll put this other side on, the number 2 bracket. And again, we'll simply be setting that up on either side. So. Okay, now that we are done with step 2, we can move on to step 3, which actually has us putting the wheels on. So let's grab those. So these are your 2 wheels, and you're going to have the 2 axles, which are here. They look like longer bolts. So looks like it'll be going in that way. So you want to put the thread side out, go through the hole, and now kind of like lock it into place. Then you put the wheel through, and then you can put on the nut. So again, from this side, you're just lifting that up and pushing that through that side. Then your wheel just slide in. Get the nuts for that, and there's 2 nuts, part D. Put that on, and I'm going to get a socket wrench, and I'll tell you what size that is. So hang on. All right, so you have a washer that you want to put on first, then your nut. Your lock nut, which is a size 13 socket, so it makes things a little bit easier. Then you just tighten it down. And you want to make it snug, but you also want to make sure that your wheel is able to turn. So right about there, that spins pretty freely. Just going to tighten it down a little bit more. And again, that's good. So next we're going to put the top supports, which are number 7s, which are basically these supports. And we are going to loosen this screw. On either side. Okay. And same thing, we're going to mount these in here. And then they slide down. Pull arms close, slide them in, and then slide them down so they hold into place. So that's good there. And same thing, you want the circle hole at the bottom, and then it's got kind of a notch that this slides into. Then put it in on the one side. And we'll just loosen those up a little bit more, so they make a good tight fit. And then over here on this side, same thing. We'll just loosen these a little bit more. I didn't loosen them up as well because there's a little bit of a notch. So that's good there. So tighten that down. But I think we're good there. And then we are looking for step 9. Which we are basically taking this piece and we are reversing the handle. So the handle is stowed for cargo transportation. So we'll take those 2 screws out. Okay, that was step 5 and 6, so we're cruising along. Okay, 7 is going to be the sides that go on up here. So let's get those out and ready. So again, it looks like the wheel side they want with this accessory handle. So we'll put that over here. It looks like this slips on top. Put them together. So it slips on top. This one slips on the other side. calls for some more of the larger A screws to go through. So I'll just grab 4 of those. Looking for that weighted piece. We're going to put that on this side. And then once screws E, we're going to do these longer ones. And then you have a couple of these lock nuts that we're going to use. These are going to sit through here. And it's got the holes drilled in the bottom, so we gotta kind of want to line that up a little bit. And like I said, this is just a weighted piece to help with keeping the weight down. And just go underneath. And these have a screw top tool in them, so you can get them snug. And then just kind of hold it with your hand. You can put a wrench in it here as well. Make sure you don't pinch yourself, but that just goes a couple turns, and then that will keep that nice and snug in its spot. And the next is going to be the propane ring, which is going to be this. Okay, so it's shown a ring. So if you have your wheels on this side, they want your propane ring towards the edge, towards the back part here. So I guess we can probably mount it right about here. And then that's going to go on with some of these other last 3 lock ones, and then your other size screw. And same thing, we'll just put this underneath, they mount in. These are the leftover bigger A screws. So you should only have a couple of those left. Same thing, I will mount this underneath. Again, snug by hand. Then we'll get the screwdriver. We got that mounted. So that's step 9 and 10 done. Let's go on to step 11, which is going to be putting the grill base on top of this. So I'm going to lower this to make things a little bit easier. All right, so in the manual, I did find a little mistake, and we all make mistakes, but it was missing these brackets. That is going to be the next step for this. So if you have these metal pieces and you're wondering what they're for, that's what they're for. They lay down on top of that, like that. And then you have a bunch of these little screws left over, B's. So I just basically put them down at each spot. And again, so this is the stand for this. This griddle, you can actually do it kind of like on a table mount if you wanted to. So it gives you some versatility. So basically, this is just basically to stand for it. It's actually not part of the grill. I mean, it is and it isn't. So follow along. So put these little brackets down here. And then next, we'll put this grill piece in. I'll slide it down so it now fits in. Okay, so make sure it sits nice and securely on that, which it does. Let's lower this down even more because we're just about done. Okay, so the last couple things. So we did step 11. So the feet sit on here nice and secure. The 12 is going to be the griddle top. So that is this. So we mount this little button right here. It does have two little footholds in the front. And then back as well. So it sits like that in the front. And then this is your grill cover. It's basically sit on top like that. Then when you're cooking, you kind of sit like that. So there's really no hinge. It kind of like just sits on there. You can see from the back of that. So that's pretty good. But again, I like that it's got a cover because I sit in an area where I get a lot of like pollen in different times of the years. So it's always good to keep this nice and clean and ready. But other than that, that is your grill fully assembled. I'm going to bring it onto the deck and season it. So stay tuned. Okay, so we got everything set up outside, and I did make another mistake on putting this together. This handle actually goes on the opposite side of the wheels, and you'll notice that it has all these little hooks to hang things on, so I had those reversed. Anyway, so it makes wheeling this around a lot easier. So what I did is I made up a bowl of hot soapy water, and we're just going to take a rag, wring that out really good, and we're just going to keep it definitely on the wet side, and we are going to clean this all off, and that will just get the manufacturing process off, and we'll even do the lid too, get that nice and clean. Just wring that out again. We'll just do a final nice good wipe down on this. Get the sides. And while we're at it, we'll just clean these surfaces off as well. Just keep everything nice and clean and sanitary for cooking. Alright, then we'll do a final wipe down. Yeah. That's good. So we're done with that. Next we'll hook up the gas. So make sure you start with a fresh new tank, just to make things easier. And then what we do here, these are all your warning labels that go on that. So you want to put this together, tighten it down. We're going to open this valve up so gas is on. And we're going to place this propane in our ring. And then we're going to tighten that down. So we're good to go here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn it on. And it has an igniter when you turn it. So pretty cool. So when you turn the burner on, you can kind of like see that flash in there, and that's what actually starts the flame. So you can kind of see it. So it has like a little ignition point in there. So yeah, very cool. So sometimes you gotta get the gas going and then turn it, but that will, you'll hear it ignite and you'll feel the heat coming off the top of it. So let's put that on low for now, and let's go get some oil and we'll season the grill top. Okay, when you're getting ready to season, make sure that you use whatever oil that you have available. We typically use vegetable oil in most of our cooking. Make sure you have a lot of paper towels. When you're doing a griddle, you're going to go through a lot of them. So make sure you have a good supply of whatever oil you're going to use, as well as paper towels. And to season it, it's pretty simple. Basically, just take your lid off your oil, and then you're just like squirting, splashing it around. And then you want to take a pair of tongs, and you are just going over your griddle top, just making a nice thin layer all the way around. And try to coat it as evenly as possible. And then I like to turn this a little bit up on the high side. We'll go for like about medium. We'll get the edges nice and good too. Okay. Then we'll turn that up to about a medium. And what you do is you want to let that go a little bit. And always be safe. And I like to go over again really quick. And obviously wear safety gloves, some of those cooking gloves, or again use a tongue. And then just make sure you're working that down nice and thin. And then you want to start smoking a little bit. And just let that go for a little bit. Have it get like a thin smoke coming off, and when you see the smoke clear off, we'll repeat that process again in a couple of minutes. All right, just to kind of give you an idea, so it does heat up pretty evenly, but I always like using it kind of like a thermal gun just to make sure everything's heated up nice and even. And like I said, you have two burners, so it takes a while for this to heat up symmetrically. And again, you can heat up different sides. And then if we turn this up to high, you'll be able to see it like climb into the 400s pretty quick. So again, you can regulate the temperature, just make sure you practice your different temperatures. And what we'll do is we'll get another hit of oil. And then we'll just move that around. Nice and even. Make sure you get the edges really well. And again, just let that stay heated for a few minutes, just to let it get a nice thin coat of oil into every little pore. Now we're going to put some down here for helps to slide down your grease overflow. And let that go. And your grease trap again is here on the side. I know I kind of showed you that during the assembly. So that is your grease trap. Make sure that you empty that often until you kind of regulate about how much you can go. And again, you're going to be putting grease and food particles down there, so I would clean that after every grill. All right, let's turn this down low, and we'll let that smoke itself off here for a little bit. And then that is our seasoning part of it done. You can give it a third coat if you like, and just remember with a griddle, you have to keep a nice film of grease on it, of cooking oil, so that you make it basically stick free. Anyway, we'll let that go, and next we'll start grilling some stuff, so stay tuned. Alright, so let's put the sausage on the griddle and get that cooking up real fast. Get that cooking a little bit before we throw some eggs on there. And grills are great for breakfast. Alright, so we got the sausage going on that side. Put some fresh oil down on this side for the eggs. Throw that really quick.
pour the eggs. So quick and easy eggs. And the sausage is basically just about done. So we'll clean up this real quick. Alright, grab our sausage. And quick and easy cleanup. Then that clean, just give it another squirt of oil. Just work that in on the grill. Grab your spatula again. Nice coating of oil. Work that down the side. Then you are ready to start cooking again. And you got your eggs and your sausage all done. Anyway, we're going to fry up some cheesesteaks here in a while, so stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright, so we're ready for the cheesesteak, and what I'm going to do is put some oil on here and we'll spread it around really quick. Just give it a really quick coating again. Alright. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use some really thin sliced ribeye. And we'll see how fast that cooks up. Alright, it's right about now, I'll add some salt, some sea salt to it, some melody pepper, and then some Grill Master mesquite seasoning. And I won't put a lot on, I'll just put enough for some flavor for now. Let's give it a little bit more heat. Give it another round of mesquite. A little bit more salt. And then a dash of pepper on it. And we're just trying to get some of that red color completely out of it. Alright, so to make it 3 separate cheesesteaks. And next we're going to add the cheese. Melt that in really good. Let that melt. Top off with a sprinkle of mesquite on top of the cheese. And just let that melt in real quick. Good. All right, we got some sub rolls that we put some butter, mayo, and a little bit of garlic on. Just pull that up best we can. One down. They smell fantastic. And our third one here. So those are our 3 cheesesteaks, and then cleanup is like super easy. You can just keep adding water. And everything gets pushed onto that side. And all your food debris gets pushed down into that hole. Quick and easy cleanup. We'll turn that burner off. We're gonna go eat some cheesesteaks. Then we'll come out and clean this up. Anyway, Brian from Garage Haul. What a great griddle. Be safe out there.